Redefine success. What is success to you? Is it money? Is it fame? At what point does that end? Is it a certain award you think you're gonna get and all of a sudden it's gonna feel better? Because probably not. It's gonna be like, are you happy? It sounds so corny, but like as somebody who had, and I mean still can manage a lot, you know what I mean? That's not where the happiness comes from.
Gabbie Hanna has been involved in all kinds of drama, and whenever this happens, she usually just goes away for a few days and comes back when everyone has moved on. But this time, Gabbie has just disappeared, and I'm not talking for a few days nor a few weeks, but it's been months since Gabbie has posted on any of her social media platforms, and people are quite worried. Back in January, she posted a TikTok with the caption, "I think this is my last post ever," but it was just about her thoughts of switching over to posting on Instagram. But little did people know that after a few pics and videos, she would stop posting on all of her social medias.
Hey, I decided something. It's not social media that's the problem for me. It's specifically TikTok. There's too many options here. I just want to post art to my Instagram page and then make Instagram stories all day. I want to get back to that life. That's where I was the happiest. And then everybody was like, you gotta be on TikTok. And I was like, yeah, I guess kinda, I do. No, I don't.
Gabbie's last post was made on February, and it was captioned with an airplane alongside passport emoji. The comments under her last post are filled with people saying, "Does anyone know if she is okay? I haven't checked to see her socials in 4 months, and come back to her disappearing off the face of the planet. I don't like you, but I hope you come back and you are okay. Bestie, where are you at? We miss you. Love and miss you. Hope you're doing well." Since then, Gabbie has gone radio silent until people noticed her on the Prince EA podcast just a month later. But after this podcast episode, it's currently unknown where Gabbie is or how she's doing, as this podcast was uploaded on March 15th, and it's about to mark 3 months since anyone has heard from Gabbie, including her fans. But what Gabbie had to say in this podcast before she could ever be seen again definitely makes sense as to why she's ditched social media, and she delved deep on some interesting topics, from deleting her social medias to her struggles with online fame and much more. For those of you who don't know, back in 2022, Gabbie's fans became extremely concerned for her when she uploaded a collection of more than 100 back-to-back TikToks delving into profound subjects like religion, philosophy, race, and mental health, which was unusual from her typical content. Her behavior as she posted each TikTok was increasingly getting worse to the eyes of the public. It got to the point where she even ended up having the cops called on her because people started getting concerned for her safety and well-being. Her followers became increasingly worried after she posted a video where she screamed, "Help me," into a mirror.
Help me! Help me! Wake the f*** up! Help me! Help us!
Consequently, this led fans to contact the police, who performed a wellness check on Gabbie. Now, let's get into the podcast and what Gabbie had to say just a couple of months ago before she'd completely give up social media for good. Or so that's what it seems for now. Gabbie was asked about social media platforms, and it seems like Gabbie has deleted the apps off of her phone, which could make sense as to why she hasn't been posting, but from what she said afterwards, it seems like she's trying to actually build the strength to delete her pages, which is crazy to think about since Gabbie has been in the social media game for over a decade, and to just completely wipe off everything she's worked for throughout all these years could be scary in the moment. But Gabbie later goes on to address why the social media industry isn't necessarily for her, so it could make sense if she's doing it for the sake of her happiness.
So before we started talking, we spoke about the platforms and how I think you
Deleted everything.
Deleted all your
I'm trying
Instagram
to work up the strength to actually delete.
Okay.
But I can't figure out if that's what I'm supposed to do or not. Specifically TikTok. Because I feel like TikTok is just like the cesspool, the worst of the worst.
Now here's where Gabbie talks about TikTok algorithms and why social media all around could be toxic and unhealthy for people.
So much stuff is being pushed on TikTok that realistically could be controlled better, but it really is just up to us wanting to consume basically trash. Because what it did, and I feel like Andy Warhol kind of like predicted this, where he was like, everybody's gonna have their 15 minutes of fame.
Let me ask you this. This might be a tough question. You might need to take some days to figure it out. But if you could create your own platform, what would it look like?
Don't think any of us were meant to be on a platform in that way. I don't think that any of us were meant to be like famous. I don't think any of us were supposed to have followers. I don't think any of us were supposed to idolize ourselves in that way. Because not only are we idolizing ourselves, but we're making ourselves false idols. Like if you're following me and you're copying me, like every moment you're looking at me and listening to me, you're not talking to God. You're not listening to God. You know what I mean? There's like a difference. We obviously, like, we're supposed to teach and grow and have fun and have joy and all these things.
There's a balance, right? You can be a mentor, a guide, but when you start getting into, I love you, you know, like.
Yeah.
Towards the end of this podcast, Gabbie talks about how she much rather chooses privacy than social media, and that she came to a point of realization in her life recently where all this social media fame and attention isn't really in her favor. It's not what she really wants at the end of the day.
When it comes to being famous, like, what's your intention? Like, even sometimes if I'm watching like a sermon or a spiritual podcast or something, and then like right before they get into the important part, by the way, I just dropped new merch, and I'm like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, but it's okay to have merch, and like we are supposed to, you know, work and make something that's valuable, but I think there's just a fine line. Like the happiness came from when I was like, oh, this isn't actually at all what I want. I don't want the attention of all these people. I actually really prefer privacy and alone time. I don't like hustle culture. I don't like the grind. It's bad for you. It's really...
Although there is no current news on her situation, where Gabbie is at, how she's doing, since she hasn't really updated anyone or her fans continue to send their love and support for her during this seemingly difficult time. I do have to add that the comments under this podcast have been fairly positive for the most part. People have had this sense of relief since this podcast was uploaded, saying things like, she looks and sounds well, and this looks like a good relationship the two of them have. It's nice to see someone having a decent conversation with her and not using her for views. I have been trying endlessly to find this girl Gabbie on the internet again since Vine went away. My heart is so happy right now. I really hope she's doing well right now. Anyways, guys, this has been the recent update with Gabbie Hanna. I definitely want to know what you guys think about the whole entire situation from last year to where she's at now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I love you guys so much, and as always, I'll see y'all in the next video.